Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Microsoft Fabric in Action, Unlock Operational Intelligence. I'm Colin Schofield, a Finance Acceleration Associate here at Avante Code. We've got a great session ahead with a live end-to-end walkthrough of Microsoft Fabric in Action, plus time for a Q&A with our featured presenters, Tracy Rayburn, our Data and Reporting Practice Manager, and Sunny Ihuoma, an Azure Data Engineer and Fabric expert. Today's session is all about showing you how Microsoft Fabric can transform the way organizations make operational decisions. Whether you're already evaluating Fabric or just beginning to explore its potential, we'll demonstrate how real-time data, AI-driven anomaly detection, and predictive dashboards can help you move from reactive firefighting to proactive, predictive operations. You'll see how Microsoft Fabric supports cross-industry transformation by ingesting live sensor data, applying AI agents to detect and predict failures, and servicing insights instantly, so you can move beyond manual monitoring and delayed reporting to align your operations with real-time decision-making and future-ready performance. Before we dive in, here's a look at the other webinars we have coming up. First, join us on September 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time for Maximize Your ROI with Dynamics 365 Finance and SCM Update 10.0.45. In this live session, we'll cut through the noise with expert-led demos of the most impactful updates and provide practical insights into Microsoft's 2025-2026 release cycle. Led by our Managed Services Director, Chris Barbera, this session includes live demonstrations of key new features, guidance on aligning updates with your 2025-26 roadmap, and an interactive Q&A with our other consultants. Then on September 18th, 2025, at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, join our team for Dynamics 365 FNSCM Licensing and Security Enforcement. Starting November 1st, 2025, Microsoft will begin enforcing license requirements for Dynamics 365 Finance and Supply Chain users. Unlicensed or misaligned users risk losing access, facing workflow disruptions and compliance issues, and unexpected costs. This session will help you understand what's changing, how to prepare, and how to right-size your licenses using telemetry and new security tools in D365 FNSCM. Join Morten Lurgstrup, D365 licensing expert, for expert insights and real-world examples tailored to IT leaders, finance teams, and procurement managers who need clarity on licensing compliance, cost optimization, and security governance. And lastly, feel free to drop your questions into the chat throughout this session. To keep things moving, we won't be pausing for questions during the presentation, but we'll be sure to answer them afterwards in the Q&A as well as following up via email. And without further ado, Tracy, the floor is yours.
All right, let me turn the camera off because I have limited bandwidth. So I'll stop sharing for just a second, turn my camera to off, and then I will share again. And we'll get started. We have a jam-packed session for you here today. This is the agenda in general, and I will tell you a little bit more about that as we get into it. Let me grab my control here. So I'm very excited. Sunny and I are both very excited to welcome you here today. You are going to see some technology that pieces of which were just released this past February in really a very much a breakthrough technology from Microsoft. This is the world's first native integration of AI-powered natural language querying directly on a real-time KQL database. We're very excited to show you how Microsoft Fabric transforms emergency response into strategic intelligence, turning every crisis into a competitive advantage. We'll start with the technology foundation, then we'll demonstrate the complete transformation from reactive to predictive, as well as the superstar tools native to Fabric's real-time analytics. By the end of the presentation, you'll see exactly how this technology creates a measurable competitive advantage. But before we dive into the tool sets and our demos, we're going to take a step back to see, for those of you who are new to Microsoft Fabric. Fabric is far, far more than a tool for real-time analytics. Microsoft Fabric represents the unified data platform for the era of AI. Everything is integrated, from data ingestion through AI-powered analytics to business intelligence. Every component works together seamlessly without the integration of the various tools where you just get to hope that they work together. Next slide. Okay, so how is streaming different from regular data that flows through into your databases for reporting purposes? Traditional reporting tells you what happened yesterday so you can plan for next month. Real-time streaming analytics tells you what's happening right now so you can act in the next few seconds. The difference between reading last week's newspaper and watching live breaking news. One informs your strategy, the other drives immediate actions. Here's what makes this revolutionary. Microsoft Fabric is the only platform offering native real-time analytics with AI-powered natural language querying directly on KQL databases. Data agents, formerly known as AI skills, allows you to train the real-time database to provide you answers to questions asked in English and be provided with answers. You probably know that Power BI has done this with reports for some time. These data agents, however, speak to the entire database, not just the scope of a single report. This preview was launched in February. The preview that was launched in February puts you in the forefront of data analytics technology that your competitors probably don't even know exists yet. We're talking about a genuine 6+ month technology advantage. So today, you are going to see these technologies working live and working in perfect harmony. Each green check mark represents a capability that will show you live using data streaming in from around the globe. Event streams for live data ingestion, KQL database for fast analytical queries, real-time dashboards for live visualizations, AI agents for natural language analytics, data activator for intelligent alerting. In addition to demonstrating predictive analysis using these tools, we have a little bit of a surprise for you. We will have an actual machine learning predictive model to share with you. To my next slide. Before we dive into the solution, let's acknowledge the reality every organization faces today. When crisis hits, how fast can you respond? Where are your insights trapped? Are they in data silos? Are you measuring time? Are you measuring time to insight in hours, days, or weeks? Most critically, are you reactive or predictive in your response? Your competitive edge depends on the answer to that question. While competitors are still struggling with batch processing, translation layers, and delays, Microsoft Fabric delivers real-time streams with native AI and instant insights. This is a competitive differentiator we are about to see. What we've done is we have created a database using streaming data from OpenSky Network. It is an air traffic control database. Air traffic control centers around the globe have thousands of data points streaming into their systems every second. When there is an emergency, they have to react in seconds, not hours, not weeks, not months. So what we'll be doing is we're tracking thousands of aircraft in real time, processing their positions, speeds, and flight characteristics every 5 minutes. And of course, this is adjustable to your business needs. This represents the kind of high velocity, mission critical data that drives business decisions. We will take you on the journey from normal operations, respond to a crisis, evaluate the results to the crisis, and then show you how you can use predictive analytics to gain that competitive edge. So with that said, I am going to hand it over to our captain. Sunny, take it away. Take us, start our journey into real-time analytics.
Thank you, Tracy. Welcome everyone to this exciting webinar again. So I'll be piloting you today as we go through the demo and explore Microsoft Fabric together. Then to keep us on time, I may not answer questions during the demo, but I will address them during Q&A, just like Lynn said, okay? And also for bandwidth reasons, I will just stay off camera, okay? So this goes really smoothly. So I will share my screen right away.
Perfect.
Right here. Okay, and just give me a second. Sorry, just need to turn this off. It's not allowing me. Okay, now I'll share my screen. Okay, so before I show you the technical foundation that makes everything possible, let's navigate to our Open Sky network, which is the source of our real-time data, okay? So I already have it open just for easy access. So as you can see, we're ingesting this data. So this is our real-time data that gives us information about the global flights in major aircraft regions. It is an API ingestion format that will ingest an event stream, which is where our journey will start. Okay, now let's go to Microsoft Fabric. Okay, so this is our workspace where we have all the resources we used. I will navigate to our event stream right here, which is where the journey started. Okay, so as you all know, this is real-time analytics demo, right? So obviously we are going to be using event stream, or rather we use event stream to connect Open Sky and design it to ingest data every 5 minutes, okay? Again, this is very, very adjustable to your business needs. But for the purpose of this demo, we adjusted to ingest every 5 minutes. You can even decide to do it, every 1 minute or, 30 seconds, 30 minutes, whatever time adjustment you want, depending on your business need, basically. So I want you to notice that the data comes through the event stream right here, okay? And then we do some data transformation right here, and then it now loads into the event house, which I'm currently starting up right now. Okay, I have to turn it off just to save some resources right there. As you can also see, we have an alert system right here. Okay, and this helps us to detect emergency situations. I want you to look at the throughputs that we are bringing it in here. We're handling massive data velocity with 0 errors. So these are all the data. So this is the raw data as it comes into the event stream. Basically, as you can see, our time is not even converted and all that, right? You can also, view your insights if you want to see how much data is coming in, and all that. But then when it goes through this process, it gets transformed and then it loads into our event house as a structured data, right? Okay. Now let's jump over to Event House, which houses our KQL database. And this is where we store our data. So again, Event House is where you have your KQL database, where the data is stored. So I will navigate to that place. So right here. Or rather, if I go to my workspace, you can see the Event House right here. So I will just navigate to it. Okay. All right. Now, in an event house, just like I said, you have a database called KQL database. Okay, we named it Aircraft Real-Time DB, designed to store and analyze event-based data. So this is where you store your real-time data, you query it, you connect it to real-time dashboard for real-time analytics. It provides scalable infrastructure for handling large volumes of streaming data and optimize for real-time analytics. Okay, so you can see just an overview of your event house once you come in. This is actually, let me just go straight because right now we are in the database. Let's go to the system overview. So before you go to the database, so this basically gives you, normal information of your event house, what's going on. If you have how many databases you have, you will see it right here. You see activities and minutes, injection, event house storage, and whatnot, just basic information. Okay. Okay, now let's proceed to our database right here. So this is our database. Also, when you come into the database, you will see, your preliminary information. Look at, we've been ingesting data. I think if you scroll through, I set it to just give us 3 days. So since 23rd, you can see all the data that comes in and go out, the queries that's been performed. You can see ingestion, you can see queries. You can set this to see, how much has been done every 1 hour, every 7 days, 30 days. You can also increase your hours as well, right? Something I want to point out here. So you can see your tables, table information. You can also preview your data if you want to preview it in raw JSON form before it goes into the table, right? Okay. Now let's move to our live table right here. So like I said, if you notice the aircraft life, this is the table we're going to be using. So basically a production table is a structured table formed from raw data ingested from Open Sky Network, which I showed you earlier in JSON format. And as you can see, this is real-time data ingested every 5 minutes. Now let's see how powerful this is. But before we go into that, I want to just show you something. We set up a retention policy for 7 days. So basically this database retains data for 7 days. After 7 days, it purges the data away. So you can see the retention policy there. We can make it unlimited as well. We can remove it. You can set it to 1 day, whatever you want, okay? If you're very conversant, which I believe most people in this room are, if you're very conversant with Lakehouse and Fabric, in Lakehouse you have what you call your SQL endpoint. So this is where you query your Lakehouse. Okay, you query your data. The same thing with KQL database, Crystal Query language database. You have your query set. So where you use Crystal Query to query, you use Crystal Query to query your KQL database. Okay, so we're going to see, I just want to show you guys, let's see how powerful the KQL database is, like how fast it processes data. And to save us time, I already have some codes I wrote down. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here. V. Okay, so we're going to run this. Sorry, it looks like something is not on yet. Hold on, this way I missed. Okay, so let me use another aircraft live. It's very set right here. Just let me make sure that my event house is still, event house turned off for some reason. Let me show you guys right here. So for some reason it goes up when it's idle, okay? So just bear with me. It's going to take a little while to start up. But while it's starting up, I'll just probably just explain a few things to you guys. Back. Okay. So on your KQL database, you can see again, I've already gone through the overview, the system overview, the databases. You can also see your monitoring. You can do your monitoring right here. Okay, you get more information about your database monitoring right here. And then when you go into the database, so like I said, so you see, initially when we came into the event house, let me go in here. So you see your event house storage. So you see your original size storage and you see your compressed data, your compressed size, your storage compressed size. So you see that information right here, very important for people ingesting high volumes of data, okay? So let's go back and see if this is now working. Let me check. Let's check. Okay, still loading. Sorry about that. This is the way it's designed to turn off when it's not being used. So we're just going with, okay, it's active right now. Okay, awesome. Let's go back. Okay, so I'm going to refresh this for go back to our database right here, and then go to our live table. Okay, I think it's refreshed. And then we go back and let's run the query and see what happens. Sometimes it takes a little while to, okay, awesome. Now it ran because our event house is now running, okay? And if you watch, something I just wanted to point out is this is really very fast. If you watch the performance, we're analyzing thousands of records, calculating multiple aggregations. You see that aggregations being done around here, across countries and flight status, getting results under 1 second. This is 0.235 seconds. Really, really, really fast. So this is the power of KQL database optimized for real-time analytics. Just wanted to point that out. Now we're going to navigate to, let's look at the journey. Let me take you through the journey of an ATCL personnel. So air traffic control personnel, what they do basically, from the little we researched and what we could bring up, okay? So we're going to navigate to our dashboard right here. Okay, let's go to the Global Air Traffic Control Center. So these two dashboards here are for normal day operations. Okay, but before I go ahead with this, I just want to explain something that is really, really important. If you notice, what you're seeing here is not Power BI dashboard. This is real-time dashboard, totally different from Power BI dashboard. So this is designed for real-time analytics. Okay, and I want to kind of highlight critical things that most people don't understand. Basically, the revolutionary difference between real-time analytics dashboard and traditional Power BI dashboard. Okay. Now, traditional Power BI dashboard refreshes on schedules. Say every 15 minutes, hourly, daily. They are pulling data from data warehouses that are already hours of this time. But for real-time dashboard, it connects directly to streaming data with sub-second refresh rate. Okay, I will show you all that. I'm sure you can already see. But let me just mention some key differences when it comes to latency. Real-time dashboard is way faster compared to Power BI that is in minutes to hours. Data refreshes, as you can see, if you watch here, every minute it refreshes by itself. It's not scheduled. Look at all the visuals; they're all refreshed by themselves. So you're getting the real-time data right away. And that's the way it's designed. Nothing is scheduled, right? Query performance, obviously real-time is running on KQL. And like I showed you guys, really, really fast for processing a large volume of data in comparison to Power BI, which is connected to SQL, basically, because that is SQL. Yeah, so that's a little bit slower, okay? And real-time dashboard scales. It can scale millions of events per second. Power BI struggles with that. When it comes to decision speed, real-time dashboard is also very, very fast, okay? So this isn't just a technical difference, it's a competitive advantage, especially if you're an industry whereby you want to see what is going on in your data right away. You want to see right a second what is going on, okay? So before I explain all this, let's proceed to data agents, okay? We're going to proceed to data agents and then we'll come back to our normal life of an ATC personnel, okay? So let's proceed to data agents. I already have it open just to save time. So this is our data agent, okay? And this is the world first technology. I'm introducing data agents today in Fabric, which is configured with KQL database, trained to answer questions with few short examples. So basically, few short examples are the examples or whatever the queries that are used to train this data agent, okay? But before we continue, I would like to explain, because some people might ask, so what is a data agent? A data agent is basically, I would define it as a built-in AI assistant that lets anyone ask questions in plain English and instantly gets answers or actions from their data. Okay, so mind you, the data agent is connected to your database. It is communicating with your database. It is not communicating with some snapshots of data or just one visual. When you ask a plain English question, it just goes in, it runs its KQL query within, and then it answers you back in plain English as well. So something that we need to note. Okay. Now, again, notice that this is connected to KQL database. There is no other place you can see this technology. As at this time, when I checked last, it's only in Fabric, whereby you have a data agent running on a KQL database, and that makes it really, really fast. Okay, so let me ask a business question in plain English and see what happens here. Okay. So I already have these questions written down. Control C. Paste it here, Control V. So before I do this, I like to refresh the database. I just like to refresh it. And then I'm going to ask, show me. So show me the current air traffic summary, including total aircraft, country represented and average altitude. Let's see what happens. It's loading up.
Cue the Jeopardy theme music.
Sorry?
Just making it. Corny joke.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, this is my first query, so it takes a little while, and then it's going to come up. Let's check I'm not sure. I need to just check my KQL, my event stream again to be sure it is still on. But it should be. We'll see right here. I don't know if I'm having a network problem. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah?
I can
Yeah.
hear you, Sunny.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
I'm not able to switch. Not sure why. Hold on. Let me reload the page. And that's what's going on here. Yeah, that's why I had to turn off cameras just to ensure that this goes well, because sometimes we experience, yeah. So I'm gonna refresh this again, and then let's see, try again. Okay, so something is, it looks like this is turned off again. Oh, okay, I'm not sure why this is happening. Sorry about that. It keeps going off. Yeah, so this is the reason why it wasn't running the query, because the event house wasn't on. And we're yet to find out, like, if so something we need to ask Microsoft, like, how do we make this, or how do we set it to constantly run and probably, turn off when we want it to. So I think that's something we'll probably find out from them and get more information on how to do that. Because once this gets turned off, you can't do much. The data agent is built on the event house. Everything is basically built on the event house to answer your questions. So please bear with me there. I'll try to be fast. Okay, it's on. Okay, let's go back. All right, let me refresh this again. Refresh. And then let's try again and see. Anyway, data needs to come in as well. So data needs to, you know what, we're going to get back to this. Let me just go to the dashboard. This is going to load. The reason why we're not seeing anything right now, I just turned up the event house. So it needs to load in some data and then, to be able to answer my question. So basically that's what's happening. But let's switch over to the dashboard. Okay. Okay, so on the normal life of an ATC control person, you're going to see, so this is what they look at. We are assuming that this is what they look at. What you're seeing right here, the maps you're seeing right here are the aircrafts currently running right now, okay? You can click on them to, see the flight details. So this is based on the information we have. So mind you, OpenSky doesn't give out everything, like, they just give you what they feel is necessary. For instance, they give you the origin of the country origin of the flights, and they don't give you the destination, just for safety purposes, I think. So with that, we're able to get this information, all these things you're seeing right now. So right now we have flights more in North America, in Europe. You can see some other parts of the world as well. Okay. And also, I mentioned some advantages with real-time dashboard, but I didn't mention some limitations. One limitation is the visual side of things. Though the important thing for us is just to make sure that we have the correct data, but also, let's say, for instance, I bring in this in Power BI, I'll be able to bring in a custom visual that shows the air flights as they are going. But we don't have that. We don't have that, in real-time dashboard, and that's okay. Something just they need to upgrade. But as long as we have our numbers right, I think that's what matters for here. Okay. So you get to see the active aircraft right now. Okay, this is turning off. I don't know why. And you have your average altitude, you have your high-speed aircraft, you have about two of them. No high density aircraft going on right now. Countries represented is about 66 countries. Okay, and you can also see more details about the live aircraft tracking details. Okay, so you get to see the aircraft, you see the call signs, the squawk code. So squawk code, I will explain that later in the webinar, and you get more information about your longitude, latitude, what's it called? Altitude, barrel altitude, vertical rate, if the aircraft is on ground or not. Yeah, you can see that these aircrafts are all flying, they're false right now. So you get to see that information. We also have breakdown by country right here. The ATC personnel also looks at things like operational efficiency of aircrafts. So we have about 5,115 aircraft right now. You can see details about, say, aircraft utilization status. You see aircrafts in still, ones that are inactive, in flight. So basically, yeah, so I don't want to go deep into this, but these are basically, it gives you, there's a way the aviation industry defines their still, recent, inactive, and active flights. Okay. You can see information about your regional performance comparison. Okay, so you see that North America is on top there. Europe follows, Asia Pacific. You can see distribution, speed distribution, last contact age distribution, high traffic airports. Okay, we have more high traffic airports right now in North America. Last night when I checked, it was Europe. Why? Because it was morning over there and it was night here. So right now we've switched. So North America, we have more traffic over here. Okay, you can also see speed analysis by flight phase, high altitude, medium altitude. That gives you, average speed, minimum speed, max speed, and the rest of them. Okay, so this is just normal day of an, ATC personnel. Okay, so let's go back to the data agent. I can see the event house is back on right now. Let me ask the question again and see what happens. Let's see. Oh, still, I'm not sure. Okay, let me refresh this. Okay. I will just proceed. If something is happening in the background that we are not catching, but I will just proceed. let me see if I can turn this off and turn it back on. This should be showing because I really want to pass on information before I give it over to Tracy. So we're going to clear the chat. Let me ask another question, copy your country V, and then I will refresh this again. First, oh, sorry. Awesome. So guys, sorry about that. So right now our data agent is working. I'm not sure what's happening with the event house, but right now it's working. So again, you can see you ask very simple, plain English questions, and then it answers the questions, right? And mind you, something is happening in the background. What does it do? It computes your KQL query, actually, behind the scenes. It does this query, makes the calculation, and then it gives you answers in plain English, and you see what you are looking for. Okay. So again, complex English, business logic expressed in English, it instantly converts it into optimized KQL and then executed in real-time data. Okay. So your business users don't need to learn KQL or SQL. They just need to ask the questions and they will get the answers. Over to you, Tracy.
Okay, give me just a second to get back to my screen. There we go. Hopefully everybody can see that. So you may be asking yourself, I'm not an air traffic controller. What's in it for me? Well, in this particular instance with real-time analytics, it can apply to any group that has streaming data of any kind. Air traffic controller data was available. It was publicly available to us, so we decided to use it. And it was rather agnostic. So if you are in finance, you can ask, questions like, show me all portfolio positions exceeding risk limits now. Or in banking, detect potential fraud in real-time transactions. Anytime you have systems that are set up with streaming data, your competitive advantage will be measured in milliseconds, not in minutes. And I wanted to give you some examples. These statistics are all referenced at the end of the slide for your convenience, so that you can get some of the data on some of the information that Microsoft offers. They did not do these on pilot projects. These are actual production implementations with actual measurable results. As an example, Members First Federal Credit Union cut machine learning model run times by 89% from 36 hours to 3 to 4 hours using Microsoft Fabric's real-time capabilities. There are organizations managing real financial data and regulatory requirements. Perhaps during day-to-day normal operations, your company is well prepared and operates smoothly. The real stress test of your analytical platform comes during a crisis. So we're going to take a little journey here, and we're going to see what it looks like when a crisis emerges and you have to react. Do your tools support you, or do you panic? It's all yours, Sunny.
Thank you, Tracy. Okay, over to me back again. So before we proceed, I would like to mention that we have a few official aviation emergency standards and regulation by the ICAO, I believe the International Civil Aviation Organization that we put into consideration while preparing for this webinar, okay? And then training these models, which enabled us to design the logic we use for crisis emergency. Okay. Now let me turn over to that. I think I have it open somewhere here. Sorry, this is over. Yeah, right here. So I just wanted to show this slide so I don't have to read everything. So these are some of the emergency standards and regulations I took from their website, mainly covering three main areas. So you have your three emergency codes. right? The 7500, 7600, 7700. 7500 means a hijack is in place. So whenever an aircraft triggers this signal, the air traffic control person knows, oh, there's a problem. All right. If it's 7600, it's radio failure. 7700, general emergency. And I think this is the one we used. So general emergency could mean that there's a passenger that needs, immediate attention. So the aircraft might have to land to the nearest airport to attend to that passenger. Okay. You also have other things like your normal and emergency descent rates. You also have your minimum safe altitudes right here. Okay. So I just wanted to show that. And now this is to show you that you can also apply logic to your model to help detect outliers or anomalies and make informed decision in your respective businesses, however you want to apply this. Okay. So now let's look at it. Oh, all right. I also want to mention something before I proceed, right? For our emergency situation, we inserted, a fictitious data for that because obviously I'm sure some of us have loved ones currently traveling right now. I want you guys to know that they're safe. For the purpose of this demo, we just inserted an emergency data to be able to demonstrate how this works. And it looks like I just got an email from Data Activator, and the email.
Honey, are you showing your screen? Oh, there it is. Sorry.
Yes,
Sorry,
I'm
didn't
showing
mean
my
to
screen.
interrupt. Apologize.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no worries. So I just got this email a lot. What's the time? This is 10:41. This was sent 10:41. Just right this minute. And it says, oh, we have an emergency situation. And look at the call sign. The call sign is basically the flight number and the squawk code. One of the squawk code is 7700. Origin country is United States. So the flight is coming from United States. Squawk code is general emergency. So it could be, oh, there's a patient who needs immediate attention in the flight, right? So now what is this? What sent this? Data activator. Okay, let me navigate to data activator so we see what it is. So let's go back. So these are our data activator right here. Put it off and then put the emergency one. Okay. Now someone might ask, what's a data activator? I would just define it as data activator as Fabric's always on watchdog. Okay, so it watches your live data, and then in the instant a rule is met, it fires an alert automatically to any medium you want to get that information from. So let's say, be it your email or your phone or Teams, basically. So for the purpose of this demo, I used an email, and you guys saw it sent that email to me, right? So as you can see, we got, look at this. It sent that, hey, you have an emergency with this aircraft, ABC 123, and it gives some information. It gives you the squawk code. So basically seeing this, okay, there's a problem with this aircraft, basically. Okay, now let's go to our dashboard to see what happened. Okay, so when the ATC personnel, so the ATC personnel got the signal, hey, there's an emergency with an aircraft, right? And right away, he got that emergency, and then he came to his board and he saw, oh, look at that. We have this aircraft emergency. Emergency status is climbing. Probably they're getting agitated. Descent alert is descending normally. So I guess the aircraft is just looking for, nearest airport, and it's descending normally the way it should. You get more information as well. Okay, you're seeing your nearby aircraft at distances. Sorry, your nearby aircraft by distance. So at this point, the ATC personnel is probably calling all aircrafts close to this aircraft to deviate. Hey, we have an emergency with ABC 123. If you're anywhere, maybe 50 kilometers or whatever distance, close, deviate, or give space for the aircraft to land. Something like that, basically, right? So that's just what this dashboard is all about. So again, why competitors are relying on humans, to spot problems. Your data activator is automatically detecting issues and taking action for you, helping you to be reactive as that emergency comes up or that outlier comes up in your business. Okay, so now let's go back to, let me see. Now we're going to go. We have seen this on the dashboard. Let's go back to our data agent and see, can the data agent actually answer this question? Or let's say detect other aircrafts that could be in danger. Let's see. So I have a question already written here. See, and then we're going to go to our data agent. I'm not sure. I hope guys, I don't know why this is turning off all the time. I'm not sure if it's, I don't know what's going on. This wasn't happening, but yeah, this keeps turning off. And this is where I could ask the questions. But I don't want to waste too much time on this because that would take time to come up, right? So I think rather what I will do is I will go into other stuff, and when this comes up, I will come back and run some of these queries I wanted to show you at this point. Sorry, this is not going the way I wanted it to go in terms of like showcasing, moving from one place to the other, but it's fine. Probably the network or something, I'm not sure why. But yeah, so let's move to okay, now let's get back to our data agents. Okay, I think I've already shown the data, I've already shown on the dashboard the emergency. So I think I need to show something as well with regards to the emergency on here. So when you look at the air traffic control personnel can analyze other things as well when it comes to like emergency. So we've already detected one flight, ABC 123. There's an emergency there. So we can come in and he will come in and look at, okay, flight direction distribution. What other flights are probably, going through an emergency situation, or, could need this kind of emergency or could need attention, basically. Now he sees aircraft with, these are tracked aircraft, okay? These are potential altitudes. You're seeing flight direction distribution, westbound, eastbound, northbound, southbound. The air traffic control person might want to look into altitude distribution and call those aircraft that are in very high altitudes or very low altitudes, and probably call them to order or putting something in place to make sure that they're safe. Okay. You can also see regional distribution of aircrafts. They're airborne, on ground, average speed. So you see North America is stopping right there, Europe, Asia Pacific. So yeah, just some few informations that will help the ATC personnel, reach out to aircraft that are in danger and then call them to safety. Okay. At this point, I will just hand it over to Tracy to move to the next agenda while I work on this event house, try to get it on, and then show you guys the queries I wanted to run with regards to this emergency. So over to you, Tracy. Go ahead, please.
Okay. You got it. All right. So this is, despite the issue we're having with the event house today, hopefully you've been able to understand how fast the data streams in and gets handled by the system. That data from the data activator came to Sunny within a second of detecting that data. So unlike traditional warehouses where it's like taking a photograph, real-time analytics captures the moment in time. Real-time analytics is like watching a movie. AI becomes the best crisis manager you have on your team. As with the prior slides, this is all backed up. I have that in the appendix for you. You can read all of the studies yourselves, and you can read all about these real projects that are published by Forrester. This is another example of how people in manufacturing can benefit. So we talked about finance. These are manufacturing companies who did projects with Microsoft, real projects, and these are the results that they got. So you'll notice that Denner Motorsports reduced their problem detection from 30 minutes to within minutes, 90% improvement in race car performance monitoring. So these are very real benefits that can be your competitive advantage. Sunny, it's over to you again.
Sounds good. Let me take over the screen. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to speed this up. It looks like our data agent is back on, so I'll try to run all query that I can right now, just to show you guys. Okay. So with regards to our emergency situation, I'm just going to run one query here just to see what happens and how it gives us answers, right? So giving you that option of either going to your dashboard to look at a problem or coming to your data agent after you've trained it to ask a question and then it answers you. So let's see what happens here. So detect any aircraft with emergency patterns, unusual vertical raise, low altitude, high speed, or rapid descent situations. Oh, guys. Okay, I noticed this event house was just on right now. Now it's turned off again. Okay, but it answered the question though. It answered the question. So anyway, so look at it gave us the answer to our question. Following aircraft that are exhibiting emergency patterns and unusual vertical raise, low altitude, high speed, or rapid descent situations. These are the aircrafts you can find, and it gives you information or like details about the altitude, velocity, vertical rate. Okay, and again, mind you, this was done within 24 seconds. Again, I think because of I'm not sure why, if it's because of too many people in the call, but this is usually very fast. And I'm just gonna skip to the other situations whereby we have resolved the emergency situation. Now, other queries you can run on your database to ask, okay, what is going on? You can ask your data agent what is going on in your business. Okay, just because of time, because we're running out of time now. I'm going to ask another question. Show me traffic patterns. Copy here. So show me traffic patterns around major airports. Which routes are most congested? Okay, so let's run this and hope that it answers the question. So our event house is off, but hopefully it still has some data in there to answer us. But yeah, it's coming up. Okay, look at that. Look at that. It gave you that information about, traffics around major airports, which routes are most congested. Okay. So again, this is, preventive measure. So if, say, for instance, the ATC personnel needs to alert an aircraft, hey, okay, if you are, because of this emergency, you're not able to land, you might be directed to land to another airport. You could run this query, he could run this query and then give that aircraft, aircraft UAL 2345. You have options of John F. Kennedy Airport, whatever airport it is. Okay. Yeah. I think that's all I wanted to show you on here. Sorry, I had other queries I wanted to run, but because, yeah.
That's great, Sunny. But since we're short
ahead.
on time, and we do want to do our little closer, why don't you go ahead and just take 3 minutes and go through your machine learning for our It's All About What We Learn section. What did we learn? And how can we benefit in the future? So now we're going to jump into some more predictive behavior using a much larger machine learning model.
Sounds good. Okay, thank you, Tracy. And yeah, so just to take a step further, there are other predictive questions we could have asked, but because of the issue we're having, I'm just going to jump into the complex one. So why designing this project, we wanted to, show something on machine learning, how you can take your predictive analytics to the next level, basically, right? So we had a redundant design whereby right now we are ingesting this data through event stream, which is the proper way to do it. And now, because we wanted to do machine learning, we also designed another method, bringing in the data through a pipeline, but then it still goes into the KQL database, okay? But then we turned off the KQL database section, but we left the lakehouse open. Why? For historical data, because you can only do your machine learning on historical data. Okay, so our historical data is in our lakehouse, and that was where we built our machine learning model. So let me go straight to the notebook where we did that. Now, I don't really want to show you all the codes we're using here. I'm just going to explain on this, okay, real quickly. So we didn't just build a model for the sake of, data science. We built an early warning system. Traditionally, aircraft controllers only react when aircraft, declares an emergency. So with this model, we can predict risk flights before emergency happens. Now, what happened here? In our test, a standard setting missed over 52,000 risk flights. So I just want to explain in in the aviation industry, you are okay to flag, it's acceptable to flag, say, a safe flight, to be risky, than to miss one risky flight. Okay, so in our model, we had a threshold, and the threshold was missing over 52,000 flights. Mind you, this is historical data. But by fine-tuning the system, we reduced that to only 245. Okay, mind you, we trained this model using just simple machine learning methods, like what's it called, logistics regression. That's what we used, basically, to train this model, and we were able to move from missing, risky flights, 52,000 of them, to 245 of them, right? And this is, so what I'm trying to explain here is we can even take this further. So there are other methods of training your machine learning model, right? Other methods of training them. But this is the simplest way. And one way you can do it, or like if we should take this further and apply other methods in this confusion matrix, we'll get even way more better, or like 99% accuracy when we query our data. Now, I'm not going to go further to show you maybe dashboards built here, but this is just to show you like the machine learning model we built that was stored in here. And that's the table right there. So let's say I want to now query or like build a data agent. I will build it on this table. It will answer my questions accurately. Okay. And just to conclude, so why this example is in aviation, the same approach applies to other industries, predicting machine failures in factories, identifying fraud banking, or anticipating patient risk in hospitals. So the real value here is shifting from reactive firefighting to proactive prevention. Okay, and I think that's all I will leave it at. Tracy, over to you to round it up. Thank you very much.
Bet. Thank you so much, Sunny. All right, your immediate opportunity here is to identify your real-time data sources, map crisis response scenarios, define competitive intelligence needs, and calculate Microsoft Fabric ROI. A typical implementation pathway could look like this: a 30-day proof of concept, rapid deployment on Fabric platform, AI skills training with your data, full production in 90 days. The future of analytics is available today. The question you have is, will you lead or will you follow? So for next steps, be sure to capture our contact information. Everyone will get a copy of this presentation, so you'll have that. And please contact us and we will help you design the future. We will transform crisis into a competitive advantage. Are there any questions in the 1 minute left?
Yes, there are two questions that we have in the chat here. The first one is just in referring to giving more detail to the difference between this dashboard and the traditional Power BI dashboard. Is it just the fact that this dashboard is in real time, whereas Power BI uses past data?
That is correct. Power BI has made some amazing leaps forward for gathering data quickly, but this is substantially faster because it is streaming raw, unstructured data. It's streaming through machines, it's streaming through systems, wherever the data is being generated. A lot of people have streaming devices in their manufacturing and warehouse locations, and that this can collect real-time analytics is for collecting that data and finding immediate problems. That's its sole purpose in life, is to alert people and let you be able to solve problems proactively rather than reactively.
Awesome. And then second question, a little bit more technical, from Alex Dalton. Can you have AI KQL data agent build customized visuals, i.e. show me a bar chart of average altitude by country? If so, where does it do this? And could you add AI created visuals to existing / new dashboards for future use?
Well, that's a big question, and we're a minute over. I promise to answer that question and get it out to the user community here who attended today. I apologize, I don't have enough time to answer that question. We're already over our time.
Yeah, totally understandable, Alex. We will be reaching out via email, breaking that down and get you the answer you're looking for there. And those are just the 2 questions dropped in the chat. For everyone, please, if you have any remaining questions from the session today, feel free to reach out via email, reach out on the website. And thank you again for joining, everyone.
Thank you so much.
You.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you.